IoT Unplugged. Tune in to the Internet of Things. Gen AI, or generative AI, a concept everyone is now familiar with thanks to the likes of ChatGPT, and IoT, which if you're listening to this podcast, you're likely familiar with too. But what about the convergence of these two technologies? What might happen when these two seemingly other technologies combine to work as one? Potentially, they could herald a new era of smart interconnectedness, with Gen AI helping to revolutionize how IoT ecosystems operate and interact. By embedding general AI into IoT, there's a significant leap towards creating systems that are not only collect data, but can intelligently act too. Yet, how exactly can they be interwoven? To discuss this further, I'm joined by Kenta Yasukawa, co-founder and CTO of Soracom. Kenta, thank you for joining us. Could you start by introducing yourself and sharing a bit about what Soracom does?
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is Kenta Yasukawa, CTO and co-founder of Soracom. Yes, so we have provided smart connectivity platform for IoT. So when you have an IoT devices, you can use our cellular connections or LP1 connections or satellite connections to connect them back to your cloud environment. One thing that makes us unique is we have built all the infrastructure for being an MVNO or providing cellular connectivity on top of AWS cloud. So from your device point of view, the next hop is cloud environment that you can leverage all the capabilities of cloud without actually having to go through the internet. That makes it possible for you to build a secure cloud-native IoT system without exposing your devices to public internet. That's what we do, and we have been serving more than 20,000 customers worldwide. We have connectivity coverage everywhere in the world and supporting a wide range of verticals and industries.
Okay, great. And this conversation we're going to have is going to be regarding IoT, but it's also going to be regarding another hot button issue of the day, and that is generative AI, or Gen AI. So without further ado, let's begin. Maybe we can start from the beginning. As you know, we all know what IoT is and we all know what generative AI is, but we don't know what the meeting point between them would look like. So could you explain how will Gen AI and IoT work together? What would that look like?
Yeah, sure. So I think the audience knows what IoT is. So the IoT devices generate big amount of data, and you can observe lots of different events happening in the real world and collect them in the backend in the cloud. However, if you don't do anything and just storing data, it's just a huge amount of data and you don't get anything from it. We need a system to understand the data and make educated decisions based on that to do a true IoT vision or use case. Let's say you collect data and make decisions and actuate devices in the field and automate things to make the world a better place. That's what we want to do ultimately. GenAI enables us to analyze data and provide insight from it. For example, if you upload time series data in CSV format into GenAI, you can actually ask them to provide the trend or anomaly or some kind of data missing points so that you can get insights into the data. We have a feature that actually does that in our data storage and visualization service. Just by clicking a button, we used GenAI to analyze the data and provide some insight. That kind of thing can be done without having to know much about machine learning or AI in general. You just click a button and you can get insights. That could be something that you would have to do with a data analyst or expert. But now by using GenAI, its data analytics is available for anyone. Also, looking at the image recognition, you can upload an image to GenAI platform and you can get insight about it. So, for example, what kind of objects are in the image or how many people in that image, and etc. etc. So that insight can be used for making decisions and automate things in the real world. That's something GenAI will offer to us. Of course, you've been able to do that by using machine learning and some other techniques. But for that, you would have to do a lot of machine learning model training and research about the technology. But now with GenAI, this type of use case is available for anybody.
Okay, excellent. Well, you talked about the IoT data sets. I was wondering if you could walk us through a bit more about being able to automate or make the process of, as you say, connecting the dots more feasible and cost effective. You talked about the people being able to get more actionable insights from it, but maybe if you could explain that GenAI's ability to automate.
Yeah, just by having GenAI doesn't make everything solved yet. So GenAI is good at actually looking at the data and provide an insight or describe it or even summarize what is going on. So that is definitely helpful for the user to understand what the data means in reality. But once you know that insight, you can actually think of what can be done by looking at these data and what kind of actions you should take based on the data. Or you can even ask GenAI to provide some suggestions about what to do with the data. And by doing that kind of interactions with the GenAI and data, you can think of what to do. And once you know what to do, you can actually use, again, GenAI to write the code and automate things. So that's a scenario that we've been talking with our customers and partners, and we have started to see some successful examples. So that's one way to do it. And also I want to add one more thing about the feasibility and cost effectiveness. So uploading everything that you receive from IoT devices to GenAI, it would not be feasible, at least not cost effective. So you would have to use GenAI to first understand the data and trend. And when it comes to making decisions, you might want to write a small application that takes data and make decisions. But don't worry, the GenAI can also help writing applications. So, or maybe you could actually use a traditional machine learning technique once you know what to do with the data. So that type of combinations would be a powerful tool even after GenAI era of IoT.
Okay. Well, you mentioned earlier that you are experimenting with GenAI on your platform for your IoT customers. I was wondering, could you share some insights into the goals of that and, any current projects that have highlighted the use case for GenAI to be within IoT?
Yeah, let me elaborate what we do around the data storage and data analytics. So we have provided connectivity. That's our primary focus of our platform. But certainly when it comes to IoT, connectivity is not only the challenge. You would have to think about securely store data in a cloud and analyze it. So one of the features that we provide is what we call Soracom Harvest. That's our data storage and visualization service. Since we can authenticate and identify which device is sending data by using our SIM ID or LP1 device ID, we can actually store data and index the data by using those IDs and put timestamp on it. So the users can just send data to our endpoint without having to think about authentication or how the data should be formatted. They can already get the time series data stored in our platform and use it to create charts and do some analytics. And last year, we added a new feature to that service. It's called Soracom Harvest Intelligence. What you can do is you can just click on the button on the UI that says Ask AI. And when the user clicks on the button, we use GenAI to look at the time series data for the particular device. And it finds out some trends and anomaly and some missing data points. Let's say, if it's a temperature data, for some reason the temperature went anomaly high at a certain time of the day, or things like that. So that's our first attempt to apply GenAI for our customers side applications, so that they can take advantage of it without them having to explore the new technology. And also we started to do some the typical way of using GenAI as well. Like, for example, we have a bot that actually answers customers' technical questions based on the documents that we have on our website. And that is also helping our customers understand our technology and our platform features better and apply into their applications.
Okay. Maybe would you be able to give us like a scenario in which your integration of GenAI is going to help your customers on their experience interacting with their, IoT devices that are linked to your platform?
Yeah, definitely. So the current feature allows them to understand what kind of insight they are getting from the data from particular device. And now we are working on to expand the scope to a wider fleet, or also a connectivity related data and events. So by using that backend and also GenAI capability integrated with the platform, customers can use natural language to ask what is going on with some particular device or their fleet, and use that insight to make decisions or troubleshooting, and so on and so on.
Okay, excellent. And well, I suppose what sectors obviously Gen AI has ability to change many sectors, but I was wondering, is there any particular ones that you think would benefit from this sort of user-friendly approach by incorporating Gen AI into your IoT platform?
Yeah, so definitely, as you also said, the many industries can get benefit from IoT and Gen AI convergence. And I don't want to limit the scope by mentioning a few, but certainly industries that have lots of like the manual operations or human resource involved, there are chances to transform and increase the productivity by using the technology. For example, let's say healthcare industry, oil and gas, and utility, those industries, they are also working on digital transformation for sure, but we still see lots of human manual operations. For example, looking at charts and collecting data by looking at the actual sensor with eyes and recording it on a paper and things like that. Recording part, IoT can help. We can actually use connected sensors or telemetry devices, or maybe we can also use the camera devices to detect what's going on and upload that to the cloud environment. By using GenAI, GenAI can look at those data coming from devices or image and provide insight and knowledge based on it. And humans, people on the field, can maybe automate that part by using the application, or at least get suggestion from the AI and reduce the workload. So when it comes to for example, the oil and gas, healthcare, utility, maybe agriculture as well, those industries that require human manual operations can benefit from Gen AI and IoT more than other industries.
Okay. One thing I wanted to ask about, say, with regards to the information being shared with this large language model and this the model that your AI system is being trained on, is there concern that maybe like there's certain processes that companies have that are being used to train this model, and they're kind of giving away some of their processes or their secrets to other people, or they're giving their information to a machine that then also could benefit a competitor or something like that?
Yeah, certainly that's a concern. And first of all, the security is definitely a top concern in IoT in general. So that's why we have provided features and platform to collect data securely to their cloud environment without exposing that to the rest of the world. So even if you securely connect data, if you kind of leak that data through by calling the third-party GenAI platform, and some competitors or some attackers use that information to threaten you, or they compete with you. That would be that would just jeopardize the purpose of secure infrastructure. So definitely, when you use GenAI, especially when you apply the technology to sensitive data, you will have to definitely think about how to protect the privacy and security. For example, there are techniques such as anonymization and tokenization. So those techniques may need to be involved if you are going to use third-party API for GenAI. Also, there are some new platforms or new frameworks for using or running your own model within your private environment. Some of the cloud providers, such as AWS, for example, they have a service, AWS Bedrock, that can create and run your model in a private environment. Well, Microsoft also has an enterprise model that can actually also make sure your information is not leaked to or used for training purpose for the future models. So it's definitely important to look at what the consequences would be to send out information to GenAI platform as well.
Okay. Well, moving on to a bit more application. So a lot of the application we've been talking about is maybe helping people on the user side extract insights or interact with data or their devices. But I was wondering, what other emerging trends or breakthrough do you anticipate could intersect with GenAI and IoT technology in the near future?
Yeah, certainly, as I said, in case of when it comes to the term Internet of Things, we have all envisioned that all the data is collected and the smart decisions will be made somehow, and the devices in the field are actuated. So I'm expecting to see that would happen more, because the AI or smart decision making portion of IoT has been a missing piece for a long time. So that's something I'm expecting to see more and more. And the reason I say, the reason why I say that is, of course, Gen AI can be can fill in the missing piece and becoming the smart decision making component, or at least become part of it. But I think so more, because the Gen AI can enable much more wide range of people to apply AI capability to look at data and make decisions or write applications by getting help from the Gen AI. So by having more people join this process, and also the making this technology available to everyone, or democratizing this the IoT plus AI convergence to everybody, we will have much more people join in, and that means we will have much more different diverse ideas about Gen AI and IoT, and we will be able to see more innovations happen in the future. So that's what I'm expecting, and I would like to see in near future.
Okay, and maybe closing down now, what advice would you give for people or companies beginning to explore and integrate these technologies into their strategies?
Yeah, my advice would be, put your hands on the device and data and see what potential you got. As I talked about in this session, in this podcast episode, anyone with ideas do not have to wait to find an expert or learn complicated things or coding or anything to get started now, thanks to GenAI and what is available in the market. You can unleash your innovative ideas to the world by using the technologies available. So, but in case you are not confident yet, or feel free to reach out to us as a smart connectivity platform provider leveraging GenAI. We are here to work with you and turn your idea into a system that makes the world a better place.
Okay, so GenAI can help with giving actionable insights of data, but what if you have, millions of devices giving loads of data? Like, what can be done about that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So when it comes to data coming from huge number of devices, the amount can be big, and you may not be able to invoke GenAI for all the data input that you get. So there needs to be a combination of GenAI and some data analytics backend as we explore different options. That's something that we are looking into now. For example, if you have a data warehouse or data analytics backend, you can store data coming from the millions of devices to that backend first. And GenAI is also good at writing code or writing SQL queries. So by using natural language and interactions with GenAI, you can actually generate a query or code that looks into the data stored in data warehouse or data analytics backend. And by combining these two, the GenAI's ability to understand humans' intention and create code or SQL queries, they can efficiently be run on a data warehouse backend and get the insights from it. That type of combination will be more important when it comes to convergence of IoT and GenAI, and that's something we are exploring as well.
Well, I think that's a good place to end it. Kenta, thanks for taking the time to speak to us today.
Thank you so much. It was I enjoyed this session a lot. Those questions that you gave me was so good, and I actually enjoyed when I read through. And also, I enjoyed that session too.
Well, I'm sure our listeners will also enjoy them as much as you did. So thanks very much for your time. IoT Unplugged. Tune in to the Internet of Things.